Hi, it's Nik and Adinah Johnson, and we're coming with another video. And this is Chapter 6 of Love and Respect. And you got anything? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So this is Chapter 6 of Love and Respect, and then, of course, we're going to do 7 after this. But let's get into it.
All right. I guess our standard housekeeping is...
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, like, share, and subscribe, but also that we're actually... because there's so many chapters per session, we're just going by chapter. So this is actually the start of session 4, but this is chapter 6 that we're covering on. The workbook and the actual textbook is linked below down in the description as well. Also, we'll be doing a subscriber shout out
Yep,
today at the end of it. So definitely hang around for that as well. So thank you.
Okay. So we want to go. The first question that I want to do is question number 10.
Okay.
And on the book on page 789, Emerson tells of asking a wife, "Are you afraid that being a respectful manner will lessen your chances to motivate your husband to change?" And so, what did you have for that one?
What I have for it also, because I think the important thing here that we keep in mind that in chapter 6, it mentions about being a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Is that the actual title of the chapter? So as we talk about that, and as far as are you afraid that your respectful manner will lessen your chances of motivating your husband? What I have is I agree in trusting that God's word will fulfill and empower a wife to actively exit the crazy cycle. Because I feel like, we have to really be important, because here as we talk about love and respect, there's 2 parts of that, but at some point an individual has to be willing to exit the crazy cycle.
Yeah.
And so you have to trust that, through being respectful, that will ultimately end that crazy cycle.
Yeah, I agree. And we talked about this last session, but I think it's important that we understand when we talked about the wife being a doormat, that we understand that when you do the right thing, oftentimes it works out.
You have to be willing to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not easy,
Yeah.
but we have to be willing to.
And then what I wrote was help control the process. The Lord is responsible for the outcome. Trust and obey God's word, and it never makes you a hypocrite when you trust and obey God's word.
Yeah, I agree. So if we go over to question 11.
Yeah.
Okay. When we go over to question 11, basically it speaks about a particular situation in the book where they got a letter from a wife who made mention of loving acts and things of that nature. And they asked the question at the bottom, says, how do you think the particular husband in the letter feels when he comes home to a clean house, a hot meal, and a wife who looks good and acts like she's happy to see him?
I said I think he feels good and appreciated.
What else is there in life other than that? I mean, I don't know what else you could want.
There's nothing else in life.
Well, it's a couple other things, but that's a big part of it. And basically, my response was the husband started to look for opportunities to meet his wife's needs. He went through and started to just look for ways to make her feel more appreciated and loved. I feel that a husband feels respected by his wife. And coming home to a peaceful house is a powerful thing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times you don't want to be in a situation where you dread going home. And unfortunately, too many people experience that, where it's like, I'll just kind of do another shift at the job, or I'm going to run by this person's house or run by that person's house, because they know as soon as they get home, it's time for the gloves to come off and you got to start fighting. So you really don't want that. So a peaceful home is extremely important. And
you really want your house to be a safe haven for your partner, for your spouse, your husband, or your wife. You don't want them to drag come home, because that's unfortunate. That's like the one place they should be able to feel comfortable and confident and at peace.
But I go back and I think about, just the title of this chapter, and think about, being a hypocrite, and first of all, being a hypocrite is that's a powerful word.
Yeah.
And I know I just said coming home to a peaceful house is powerful, but that's strong. And it's basically a hypocrite is someone who basically says one thing and does another.
Yeah.
You don't want to be viewed as that, but it's not hypocritical to basically try to put your best foot forward in your relationship. And that's not hypocritical at all.
That's true. I don't think it is. I think when you're talking about your spouse or the person that loves you, or the person that you vow to be with and marry, I think it's so important that you understand that this is your life. And so to love and respect them properly I don't think you're ever wrong for that.
Yeah. And they also make a mention here. It is like, well, sometimes we have to do what we don't want to do. Like, for instance, most people don't like getting up in the morning. They still get up.
Yeah.
So it's not about always doing what you want to do. And I think oftentimes we forget about that.
Right.
It's that sacrifice.
Okay. The next question we want to do is number 12.
Number 12.
Okay. Read Refuse to Play Rodney Dangerfield, Don't Stonewall. The book pages 91 and 92. Instead of muttering, I just get no respect. I remember that one. I just get no respect.
Yeah, that's it.
Husbands are to move toward their wives even when they are receiving verbal death blows. How hard is that, though? How does Proverbs 12:16 help a husband when his wife is being abusive and disrespectful?
Well, you want to share your thoughts on that, or do you want me to go?
I want you to go because that's pretty...
Verbal death blows?
Yes.
Okay. In most cases, a wife knows she can't hurt a man physically, so utilizes words to do so. I like the contemporary English version as far as the way they have it spelled out. As far as losing your temper is foolish, ignoring an insult is smart. And so as far as, if an individual goes through and a wife says certain things to you, it's difficult. And usually individuals don't go into any type of conflict expecting to lose,
right.
Or wanting to lose. So what happens is oftentimes they'll say things, and there's even a instance where in the book where they talk about how, you're 6'4" and like 250 pounds. How's it supposed to hurt you?
Right.
Be like it does.
Yeah.
And I'm sure all of us at some point can probably remember something that somebody said to us years and years ago that still has a profound impact on us.
Yeah.
So I don't think we should minimize the impact of our words.
I agree. Words are very important, and the Bible even speaks there's life and death in the power of the tongue. So it's so important that we build our spouses up and not tear them down, and use our words positively and not negatively, and not saying mean, rude things and disrespectful things to our spouse. What I wrote for that one is, I think when we realize how different men and women are, then we can appreciate and celebrate those differences. Because part of the thing, and I'm going to be, transparent here. When we first got together 23 years ago, I learned really quickly that you did not respond to negative tone. So I really had to soften my tone when it came to you, because I learned that you responded better when I was nice, when I gave a really sweet tone.
Yeah, I've always been big on words. So they've always had a profound impact on me. So other people are like, I don't care. That's never been me. So I've always been one to try to be mindful with the things that I've said, with the things I say, but also I really internalize what the individuals whom I care about and love, what they say to me.
Yeah, and I found that out really quickly this week. But I was nice. It was nice. But anyway,
Don't just throw it out there. Finish it, man.
No, plus your words of affirmation. When we talk about 5 love languages, your love language is primarily words of affirmation. And so I think part of being a student of my spouse and understanding.
I don't talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. Being a student. He's going to get this pen, y'all.
Okay.
Being a student of my spouse and understanding who you are, I learned that early on.
Yes. Question 13.
Yes, exactly. Now you don't want to talk about it.
We can't talk about that. Okay. Question 13 says, and I used to say, I'll show her. And so basically this goes into, once again, talking about love and respect. And when we talk about love and respect, they have a little fill in the blank area down in question 13. It says, as a husband, you could say, that felt disrespectful. Did I just come across as unloving? And basically, this is a response to when your wife says something to you that hurts, And so instead of maybe taking an approach that you've taken previously, as far as maybe getting angry or turn something to a shouting match. Simply, Dr. Emerson advises that an individual should say, okay, that felt disrespectful. Did I just come across as unloving?
Mm-hmm. And vice versa, too. It has another part on there.
Mm-hmm. It is. And,
where it says...
Exactly. For a wife, it says, that felt unloving. Did I just come across as disrespectful?
Yeah. And that can pull you out of the crazy cycle and not continue to go there.
Mm-hmm. So when you hear those phrases, how does that make you feel? If I came to you and I said, honey, that felt disrespectful. Did I come across as unloving? How does that make you feel?
I think I would be honest with you if it felt unloving or if I was disrespectful and wasn't aware of it. I think sometimes our partner has to tell us, hey, that was very disrespectful or that was unloving to me. So I think I would be open to it.
Okay. Yeah, I think just in saying that, that's an opportunity for you at that particular point to start to mend whatever damage has happened as a result of that action or whatever you said. So I think it's extremely important. And, I think too often individuals sometimes are just, hankering for a fight. So I think that's extremely important that you don't need to just sit there and always look for that fight. Be willing to just say, okay, let's go ahead and resolve this issue. Let's deal with it. And if I did that, not if I did that, since I did that,
yeah.
What can I do to make that better? Or, okay, yes, it was unloving with what you said, or it was disrespectful with what happened. So just really sit there, because the goal is, once again, to resolve whatever issues are going on.
Right. And to not continue to stonewall, like they said in the beginning of this chapter, like Rodney Dangerfield, I just get no respect.
Yeah, that's true. There's one other piece in here on question 14.
Okay.
They talk about take the hit. How sometimes, as gentlemen, or men, we have to be willing to take the hit sometimes.
Yeah.
And, since we're asked to lead, it doesn't only mean as far as like making decisions when it comes to, where we're going to live, jobs, and all, but also in all matters. So if there's a situation going on like this and your wife says something to you that is disrespectful, you have to be willing to take the hit and lead in resolving that situation as well. So you have to say, okay, because oftentimes when we think about leading, we always think about, the power grab. But it's also leading and doing things that aren't that fun either.
Yeah.
So we have to think about that. So sometimes you have to, take the hit. So if your wife says something to you that is disrespectful, there is a need to bite your tongue and say, you know what? I feel disrespectful.
Right.
And, did I come across as unloving?
Yeah, and use the tool. I know when we first got married, and we were learning these tools back in 2001, you would basically, when I would come home, if I was disrespectful or unloving or, said something that you didn't like, you would put the chairs knee to knee, level and congruent position, and you would work it out. And that, I think that helped because you were using the tools. You didn't require me. You took the lead on that. You didn't require me to use the tools, and you weren't willing to.
Yeah, and you have to. And I think we also want to talk about question number 15. But I think question 15 here is a great starting point for any. Well, actually, there's a great point as far as honey, that felt disrespectful. Did I come across as unloving? But also, he gives us a nice kind of passage here at the bottom of page 71. And it goes like this. Honey, I love you. I don't want this. When you talk this way,
you don't want no smoke.
I know you're feeling unloved. Let's work on this.
Yeah.
I want to come across more lovingly, and I hope you would like to come across more respectfully.
Okay.
It's hard for somebody to say that and want to, at least I would think it'd be hard to want to keep fighting after somebody actually came with that. So
what are you going to say? No, I still want to fight.
And that's when you have to go back to saying, that felt disrespectful. Did I come across unloving what I just said? But, that's a great place. Because I know a lot of times, when you're not used to doing something, you need a way to start.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great kind of segue into trying to fix any type of situation that's going on right now.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because, as husband and wife, when stuff isn't right.
Right.
And you shouldn't like the way it feels. So you need to do what you need to do. And I think question 17, which is at the end of the chapter, And one of the biggest things I think about in this question is it says, no matter how desperate or hopeless a marriage may seem, it can work.
Yeah.
But you have to be willing to put in the work.
I agree.
And I think that's the biggest thing about it. And you should totally agree. So what we have to realize is that no matter what situation or how bad you might feel as though your relationship is, you can decide at that particular point that we can't keep doing this.
Right.
We've got to do something different, and we've got to do something that's better, because my desire is to be happily married, not just married.
Yeah. And the question is, what do you think? Can love and respect plus goodwill in both spouses conquer anything? And we both put, I totally agree. Mm-hmm. Like you were saying, I think it's important that you step out on faith and try to make it work. Yeah. I mean, you at some point, and we've heard of spouses that, it takes two to quit, to give up, but so it just gets difficult. If both people are trying and they're working hard at the marriage, it can work.
Yeah, I agree. So that is chapter 6 of Love and Respect.
Yay.
So what do you think about chapter 6? Do you align with what Dr. Emerson is saying? Do you have any different viewpoints? What are your thoughts about the book so far? Please put them down in the comment section below. We welcome those as well. We mentioned a subscriber shout out.
Yep, we got a subscriber shout out, and the subscriber shout out is very near and dear to our heart today, and that is Alexis Johnson.
Yes, Alexis.
And as you can tell, we have the same last name. That is our niece, and she is a nurse, and she is out there working hard during this pandemic and everything that's going on. And she always shares us and give comments on our YouTube channel. So I just wanted to shout her out, and we love you.
Yeah, love to you. Be safe, and to all the other first responders, doctors, nurses, everybody who's out there helping to battle this virus. We thank you all. So that is what we have for this particular video. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, please take care of yourself and keep loving one another.